graduates in engineering or maybe plain graduates, okay, and people who are coming from different streams of work, mechanical engineering engineers, or maybe coming from civil engineering background or some other background, like commerce background or accounting background, that kind of background, but they want to start their career in IT and they feel that okay, automation testing is something where we want to step ahead and we want to start our career. So we will mainly target those two kind of audiences. However, there might be some people who are beginner in automation testing. They might have six months experience or 1 year experience, or maybe they just joined an organization and they are assigned this role, automation tester role, and they also want to ask something. They also want to like know something. So they can also obviously participate, but generally we want to actually give some overview or give some idea to completely new people. Okay, so this is about CGC. Like CGC is a registered and non-profit organization which generally helps uh, students or professional to enhance their skill set or gain some new skill, or also uh, in the job opportunities. So agenda for today's webinar is pretty clear. Automation testing, we will understand what is automation testing, how many types of automation testing exist, and what basically they are. Okay, and second, we will look into the career strategy. Okay, now we have understood what is automation testing, how many types of automation testing, and where they are used in a software development life cycle. Then how we can start our career in this field. Okay. So in a nutshell, if I give you intro about automation testing, in a nutshell, automation testing is simply to automate your testing. Okay, so you need to understand what is testing first. So what is testing? Testing is basically simply to find out that whatever product or whatever software or whatever application, the three are basically the same thing, but we use they are interchangeable terminology that we can use. So products, sometimes you will heard about product when you will work in a IT company. Sometimes you will heard about application. Sometimes hear about the software. Okay, you will be hearing about the software. So testing is basically to check that your application or your product is working as per the expectation. You will have some kind of a specification. Okay, this is what I want to develop. This is what I want to create. So you will test. Okay, this has been created as per the specification, as per the expectation. Okay. Now, to say this one line is very simple, but when you do it, obviously you will like you will go into some other challenges as well. Okay, I have verified that this is working as per the expectation, but what will happen if I do something which this software should not allow to do? Okay, so negative testing also comes into the picture. So you test a software, basically you do the testing of application, you do the testing of application, and that testing generally you do manually. Okay, for example, I will give you a very simple example. You are working for a company which develops the aviation software, these airline software, okay, ticket booking, for example. So that says that you can book this is some airline which basically handles only the domestic traffic. So the expectation is that if you enter Delhi and you enter the Hyderabad and you enter a date, you should be allowed to book a ticket. Okay, this is a very simple expectation. As a tester, as a QA person, you entered Delhi, you entered Hyderabad, and you clicked on you entered some date, you clicked on the book, you paid the payment, and your ticket is done. But what will happen if somebody enters Delhi and in the destination they enter the New York? Okay, your developer might not be handling this scenario. They might be using some kind of database. They enter they enter the database in the origin table. They enter the database in the destination table, and this database has all the locations, all the airports in the world. So they have not handled this scenario. So this is also part of your testing. Okay, so simply Automation testing is basically to automate this thing. Now you are entering Delhi manually by selecting that drop down. You are using your mouse and you are going to that field and you are selecting the Delhi, then you are selecting Hyderabad, then you are selecting a date, you are paying the payment. All these activities you are doing manually. Okay, as a person you are doing it. But automation testing says that this process should be automated. You should write the script, you should write the code, and all this activity should happen automatically. You should just trigger some command, a website should be opened, some data should be entered in the origin field, some data should be entered in the destination field, date should be selected, payment should be made automatically, and your ticket should be booked. So this is simply the automation testing. Okay. Now how we can move into automation testing? So first we need to learn what is testing. We should be good at those concepts. Okay, there are people who generally jump directly into automation testing. They are good at coding and they simply jump into automation testing, but then they are not as valuable as the person who have idea about the testing and then they are coming into automation testing. Okay, people who have good knowledge about testing, good idea about testing, and then they are coming into automation testing, so they are a great value addition in their team. And from career perspective, you have an excellent career if you are great value addition to any team. So more knowledge you have, the more good career you can have. So first you need to learn, simply you can note down. First you need to learn the software testing. In software testing, what topics you should cover? You should cover how to write test case, how to create a bug report, how to create a test plan, how to create a test strategy. Test plan and test strategy, you should not be very, very proficient, but yes, you should have some basic idea about how to create test plan, how to create test strategy. What is software development life cycle? What is bug life cycle? And what is software testing life cycle? These 4 to 5 topics you should be very good at. Okay. These are not very, not very complex topics. Just go to internet, search some article, start reading about those articles, and you will have fair amount of idea what these are. So these are the building blocks of these are the foundation of your career. If you have learned what is software testing, next you can easily learn what is automation testing. Okay. So for automation testing, you should be good at coding. Okay. So I always suggest that if you are opting for automation testing, your main focus should be on programming language. Okay, I will before that I'll just tell you how basically automation testing performs so that you can understand that what basically I'm saying. Okay, so I'll go to some website. So let's say our task is to automate one test case, which is basically to book this hotel. So we will choose the destination where we want to book the hotel. We will select the check-in date and we will select the checkout date, and then we will click on search. Some hotels will be listed. We will choose the hotel and we will make our booking. This is my one test case. This test case I will automate. So these actions, whatever actions I will perform, for these actions, there are many libraries available. I can perform these actions using the Selenium. I can perform these actions using the Playwright. I can perform these actions using the Cypress. And there are many other libraries available. So whatever library I want, I can choose that library for these browser actions. These are browser actions. Selecting something from this field, selecting this dates, clicking on this button, selecting this checkbox. These are the browser action, the action that we are performing on our browser. So for these browser actions, you have many libraries available. You can select any library and you can proceed with that library. However, to work with that library, I think we have some questions. Someone has raised the hand. Yeah, please unmute yourself and you can ask a question. Okay, I think they have lowered down the hands. So these are the browser actions. Okay, and to leverage these browser actions, to perform these browser actions, we need some kind of programming language. Okay, so what you need a programming language and you need a library. That is the combination. Not just the automatically filling the data, but also validating the output. So my test case is that I should be filling some data here, clicking on the search button, some hotel should be listed. I will pick one hotel and then I will make the booking. So what is my outcome? My outcome is that booking should be made. So what I am validating here, I am validating in this test case that booking should be made. So that is my test case and that is my outcome, and that I should be validating using this script. Okay, so that is what automation testing. This filling is part, because as a user or as a test case, obviously you will fill this data, then only you can make the booking. So this is part of your test case. Okay, so this action you will perform, then you will select one hotel, you will make a booking, and then you will validate, okay, booking has been made, and that will make your test case pass. If you will not be able to make the booking due to any error in this application, let's say this says that hotels not available, or maybe due to some backend error, it is not able to list down the hotels, then your test case will fail and you can report it to your development team that this application is not working properly. Okay, so that is what automation testing is. Yeah, thank you. So as I said that to perform any action related to your test case, you need some testing library, and to use that library, you need a programming language. Write the code using that library, you need a programming language. Okay. So some of the very famous programming languages that are available that generally automation tester use are Java, Python, and JavaScript. Okay, so generally I suggest people to go with Java if you're a beginner. Why? Because Java is a kind of old language and there are so many resources available in Java. If you're stuck to any problem, you just search and you will see a lot of articles, a lot of references, a lot of resources available uh, related to your problem. Okay, so if you start your career using Java, that is very helpful. If due to any reason you don't want to choose Java, then I would say go with Python, because Python is also a good growing language. You can start with Python, and obviously you can also start with JavaScript, because JavaScript is one of the most used language. Okay, you can develop your client side using the JavaScript, you can create your backend using the JavaScript. So these three languages, you can choose any of these languages and you can start your automation testing journey by starting learning any of these languages. If you are someone who has 1 year of experience in automation testing, 2 or 3 years of experience in automation testing, and you already know Java and now you are looking to enhance your skill, then obviously you can go with Python. Like the more the merrier. Okay, so the more languages you have idea about, the more value you have in the job market in your career. Okay, so that is the second thing that you can do. Okay, now similarly, if I talk about the libraries, so many libraries are also available. One of the most famous libraries is Selenium. Then APM, what APM is, we will talk later. Cypress, Playwright, and Rest Assured. These are some of the very popularly used library. Okay. Now, before I tell you more about these libraries, I want to tell you something about automation testing that will make you define your strategy, that okay, which library I should pick first. Okay. So generally, everybody knows that there are two kind of application. One is web application, another is mobile application. Okay. If I open this Expedia here, this is my web application. If Expedia has some application in Google Play Store and we download from there, we install that application in our mobile and we book the booking using that application. So that will be mobile app. Okay. So as an automation tester, you might be assigned to test either the web application or maybe the mobile application. Okay. So from the programming language part, you don't have to do anything. If you are good at Java, you can use Selenium to automate the web application, and you can pick the APM to automate the mobile application. The only learning curve will be that you need you need to learn one more library for learning mobile automation testing. Okay. Similarly, there is a third kind of automation testing available as well. That is called web service testing. Okay. Also called the API testing. Web service or API, they are both are same. Okay. So what is API? In order to understand API, you also need to understand the microservice culture. That what is microservices. So nowadays applications are not developed as a whole. They are developed in a small chunk. So if I talk about this Expedia application, it has several parts in itself. One is this searching. Another is payment module. Another is checkout module. Another one is notification module, where you will get the notification in your email or in your SMS that, okay, your booking has been made. Okay, so you will get the email or you will get the SMS. So that is called notification. So all these are very small modules. One team of developer will be, let's say 2 or 3 developers will be developing the search functionality. So this will be called search API. Another will be developing the payment API. Another team will be developing the booking API. Another team will be developing the notification API. And then these all modules will be merged together and released as the one application of one product. Okay. So how these modules will communicate to each other? They will communicate to each other through a web service or the API. So you need to test each individual component or each individual module or each individual API, and you need to validate the response. Okay. So generally that request and the response comes in JSON form, and that manually you can test using a tool called Postman. And for the automation testing, you can use a library called Rest Assured. Okay. So this is the overview about the automation testing. Okay. Now, how you can go about the learning these things. So I would say first, pick any language. As I said, you can pick any language. Spend at least 2 to 3 months in becoming very good at these languages. Good thing is that for automation testing, you do not have to learn these languages inside and outside. Like you do not need to learn these languages 100%. There are 8 to 10 topics that you need to learn in each of these languages. Go to YouTube, or if you can spend some amount, go to Udemy. The only difference between YouTube and Udemy is that in Udemy, if you buy a course, you will get everything at one place. In YouTube, there are many people who create videos, and those videos you need to search, or you will have to find. You need to find. Okay, but in Udemy, if you purchase a course, all the videos will be at one place, and you can go them one by one sequentially. You can learn from those videos sequentially. Okay. So I'll give the example of Java. Let's say you decide that, okay, I want to go with Java. You pick the Java. There are some topics, like first you need to be good at OOPS. You need to be good at exception handling. You need to be good at collections. You need to be good at file input, file reading and writing. Okay, these are some of the topics you need to be good at it. If you're a fresher, obviously you don't need to master these topics. You just need to learn these topics. You need to be good at the basics. If you're a fresher, or if you're coming from a different field and you want to give the interviews. So also you will be considered as a fresher. So you just need to be good at the basics. Once you are good at the basics, then there is no problem, because as an interviewer, whenever we interview someone, we look, okay, how strong they are at the basics, because if they are strong at the basics, then they can come on the job and they can learn on the job. Okay, but if they are not good at the basics, then they will come on the jobs and they will first learn the basics, and we are not sure whether they will be able to learn the basics or not, because sometimes people is stuck to programming languages, so whether they become good at their job or they are failed at job. So you need to be good at your basics. Once you are good at your basics, you are good at the Java, then I will say you can choose a testing library. So you can choose Selenium. Okay, as a beginner, you should always go with Selenium, because Selenium is one of the old testing libraries available. So as I said about the Java, same is true about the Selenium as well. You will get a lot of resources in the internet about the Selenium, which is a good part. So your learning become very smooth. I think we have a question. Yeah, there is no problem if the front end is made of JavaScript, HTML or CSS or Angular or React. You can obviously use Java, Python. Okay, that's not a problem. However, that they say that if the front end is made of Angular or React, it is better that you pick the Playwright or WebDriver. But Playwright you can use with Java, so that's not a problem. Okay. So coming back to the learning, once you become good at Java, you spend your 2 to 3 months. Now pick Selenium library, and you need to become good at Selenium as well. As I said, the Selenium or any other testing libraries gives you nothing but only the browser actions. If I talk about the web applications, then they give me only the browser actions. I can select something from the drop down. I can enter something in a text box. I can click on the radio button. I can click on a checkbox. I can click on a button. I can read some text from the page. Okay, so these are the browser actions. So you learn all these browser actions using Selenium. If you are once you become good at web application and you want to move to mobile automation testing, then you will have to learn the same thing using the APM. Okay. Okay, so let's say you have learned the Selenium as well. Now, as I said, that you need to validate the outcome. Okay, I know the programming language using this, and I know the Selenium using this programming language and using the Selenium, I am able to perform something on my browser. But how I can validate that 2 plus 2 is 4? How can I validate my outcome? So for that, you will have to learn another library called TestNG. TestNG is basically assertion libraries. What is assertion? Yeah, what is assertion? Assertion is basically to validate that 2 plus 2 is 4. I mean your expected versus actual. Okay, so that is what the TestNG gives. Okay, now you need to learn one more library, which is TestNG. Okay, so what is our learning plan? First Java, then Selenium, then TestNG. Now what happens generally in automation testing, that automation testing is performed through the script automatically. And let's say your application is something like Amazon or some other application, okay, which there are many people who use. So you want to verify that at least my critical test cases, my critical functionality should always be working. So you will write the test cases to test those functionality, and your manager or your client says that these test cases should run every night, so that if they are passed, we are okay. But if they are fail, then we should be aware, okay, this functionality is not working and we can fix that functionality. Okay. So your test cases should work every night or every week or every twice in a week. Okay. So you will not sit on your computer and you will not run those test cases on your computer. Okay, they should be run automatically. So for that, you need to learn some kind of build library. So the most popular build library is Maven. Okay, so that is fourth in your list: Java, Selenium, TestNG, and then Maven. Okay, and then these test cases, whatever test cases you have written, the code will not stay in your local computer. Why? Because your local computer might crash anytime, or anything might happen to your local system. So they should be saved in some remote location, and in that remote location also they should have several copies. So if in case any one remote server goes down, at least your code is safe in another remote server. Okay, so for that you need to learn a tool called Git. Okay, that is a tool. That's not a library, that's not a language, that is a tool. That is a tool called Git. Git basically takes your code from your local system and it pushes your code to some remote server. And similarly, it can take any code from remote server and it can pull to your local server. Okay, so you need to learn the Git as well. Now, where your test cases will run? Your test cases will not run in your local machine. Okay, because your manager says that, okay, I want to save some money, so I want to run these test cases at night, and you should not waste your time in running these test cases. They should run automatically in night. In the daytime, you can do some other work. You can automate some other test cases. Okay, so for that purpose, that means your test cases should run in some other virtual machine or some other physical machines. They should not run in your machine, and these test cases should run at some scheduled time. For example, 8 p.m. in every night or every Sunday in a week. So for that, you need to learn another tool called Jenkins. There are other tools also available for each of the things that I'm saying. There are many tools available. There are many libraries available for the same job. But I'm telling you the name of tools or the libraries which are most popular. And if you go to the interview with those libraries, your chance of selection becomes more. Okay, because Jenkins is the most popular tool. So if you have learned that tool, you will start getting many calls, and that will help you fetching a job very easy. So you need to learn Jenkins. Jenkins is basically used to run our test cases in a machine, in a virtual machine, or in any other physical machine, and at a particular time, at a scheduled time. Okay, so these 5 tools, if you learn from today onwards, create a plan for at least for 6 months. First, pick a programming language, then pick any testing libraries. I would suggest go with Selenium, then learn the TestNG, then learn Maven, then Git, and then Jenkins. If you learn all these 5 or 6 tools that I have told you, then you will start getting several calls, and after 2 to 3 calls, you will definitely convert that call into the job offer. Okay, I think we have a question in chat. I'm an electrical engineer from last 6 years and I want to join an automation field. Is this good now to switch from my field? See, I won't say whether it is good to switch from the electrical engineering, because I have never worked in electrical engineering. So I have no idea what kind of a scope electrical engineering gives. But if due to any reason you feel that, okay, I don't want to continue in electrical engineering field and I want to switch, then I would suggest, yes, automation testing is something which is definitely good compared to other field. Why I'm saying compared to other field? I mean, development and every other field is good, but in automation testing, it is easier to get an entry. Okay, it is easier because, as I said, that learning curve is only 6 months. If you spend a 6-month time dedicatedly every day 1 hour or 2 hours, definitely after a certain Even 3 to 4 months, you will become a person who will go to the job market and who will be able to fetch the offer. Okay. So yes, they will hire you as a fresher, but obviously they will not give you the salary as you are drawing now in your electrical engineering field, because you have experience of 6 years. So in 6 years of experience, you might be drawing somewhere around 70 to 80,000 there. Here you will come as fresher, and fresher salary in IT market is generally like 20 to 30. So you will be drawing somewhere around there, around that. Okay.
So Maroof, my fresher salary also increase nowadays in IT actually.
Yeah, that depends.
30
Yeah.
to 40,000 is common. Even for electrical engineering, it is not the case like that actually. They
Yeah.
are very less actually, even if they are experienced. So
Okay.
just to add that, that is also one of the concern they want to move. They are trying to move to IT.
Okay, okay. So no issue. If definitely, if you are any due to any reason, if you want to move, like not job satisfaction or salary is not good or whatever reason, if you want to switch, definitely IT is a good option. And automation testing, as I said, that entry is little bit easy compared to other fields like development or DevOps. So definitely you can make an entry here. And as I said, just create a 6 month plan and stick to this plan. Spend at least 1 or 2 hours daily. And always I tell this thing to fresher, that focus more and more on programming language, because if you are good at programming language, if interviewer asks you to write some program, and if you solve that program, you are able to write that program. Even if you are somewhere weak in other fields, like you are not good at Selenium, or you are not good at TestNG or Maven or Jenkins, etc., even then they will hire you, because they know if you are good at programming language, definitely you can learn these things by putting some of your self efforts. Okay. So in your 6 months, at least half amount, 2 to 3 months should be dedicated to Java. Whatever the topics I told you in the basics, oops, collections, exception handling, file reading and writing, make sure you are good at basics of these. Then pick some Java programs that are generally asked in interview. Make a good practice of those Java programs. Once you become good at Java programs, then you can crack any interview. Even if you tell I'm not good at Selenium, I just know the basics, but I can learn Selenium, they will hire you, because they know if you can learn the
सर
Java
हेलो
if you can learn any programming language, you can obviously learn the
हेलो
Selenium as well. Yeah,
हेलो
yeah, go ahead.
सर ये जावा में जो आप बता रहे थे कि जो बेसिकली इतना चीज पढ़ना चाहिए तो उप्स
हाँ,
बता
हाँ,
रहे थे और क्या क्या बता रहे थे सर थोड़ा आराम से बताइए उसको नोट कर
हाँ,
लेते सर
एक आप उसमें नोट कर लो, कलेक्शंस।
यस सर
ठीक है।
कलेक्शन
हाँ,
यस सर
कलेक्शन लिख लो आप उस पे। एक आप उस पे लिख लीजिए फाइल रीडिंग फाइल रीडिंग एंड राइटिंग।
फाइल रीडिंग एंड राइटिंग यस सर
ओके।
और सर
एक आप उसमें लिख लीजिए टॉपिक आपका एक्सेप्शन हैंडलिंग।
एक्सेप्शनल हैंडलिंग क्योंकि सर मैं एक्चुअली मैकेनिकल से हूँ सर
नहीं, कोई
और
दिक्कत नहीं है।
जैसे यस सर मुझे भी जैसे आईटी फील्ड में जाना था तो एक्चुअली
हाँ,
मेरे
हाँ,
भाई
हाँ,
एचसीएल में है तो
हाँ,
वो
हाँ,
मतलब उन्होंने ये मुझे लिंक भेजा था तो बोलते इसको ज्वाइन करो और तुम्हें बेटर लगेगा तो तुम मतलब इजी तरीके से इसमें आ सकते हो ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग में क्योंकि मैं
हाँ।
मतलब HTML CSS या जावा स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ के रिएक्ट पे जाना चाह रहा था लेकिन सर वो भैया ने बोला कि ये ज्यादा बेटर रहेगा तो ये तुम एक बार मतलब ज्वाइन कर लेना इसको तो सर थोड़ा इजी तरीके से पूरा इसमें बताइए ताकि मैं नोट करके मुझे ये ठीक लग रहा है ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग बेटर लग रहा है मुझे स्विच
हाँ, तो
करने के लिए
सबसे
मैकेनिकल
पहले तो मैंने ऊप्स को आपको बोला है, ठीक है, तो ऊप्स
जी
आप अच्छे से
जी
कर लेना। ऊप्स में जो टॉपिक्स होते हैं जनरली,
जी
वो
सर
मेथड्स ओवरलोडिंग होता है, मेथड ओवरराइडिंग होता है,
यस
ठीक है।
वो सर मैं सब कर लूंगा बस आप
हाँ,
मेन एडिटिंग जैसे ऊप्स हो गया
हाँ,
कलेक्शन हो
ऊप्स
गया
ऊप्स कर
फाइल
लीजिए,
रीडिंग एंड
कलेक्शंस कर
राइटिंग हो
लीजिए,
गया जी
फाइल रीडिंग राइटिंग कर लीजिए, उसके बाद में
जी
एक्सेप्शन हैंडलिंग कर लीजिए आप।
जी एक्सेप्शनल हैंडलिंग हो गया सर और
बस ये 5 आप अगर कर लोगे, तो
ओके
इंटरव्यूअर के 80% 90% क्वेश्चन जो है वो आप कवर हो जाएंगे। एक या दो क्वेश्चन ऑब्वियसली दे विल ट्राई टू थ्रो टफ लिटिल बिट टफ, लाइक थ्रेडिंग और मे बी रिफ्लेक्शंस, बट
यस
दैट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम। अगर आपको इतना आता है ना, तो
यस सर
दे विल हायर यू। एक या दो क्वेश्चन तो इंटरव्यू में मतलब ऑब्वियसली कोई भी नहीं बता पाता, तो दैट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम।
यस
हमारा फोकस होना चाहिए 70% पे, ठीक है।
सर, यस सर,
तो ये आप कर लो, और ये
यस
आप अच्छे से करो, सिर्फ ये नहीं कि आपने वीडियोस देख ली है या कहीं पे
नो
आपने
सर,
रीड
नो
कर
सर,
लिया।
मैं
इसकी आपको
इसको
प्रैक्टिस
यस
करनी
सर,
है, ठीक है।
यस
इसकी
सर,
आपको प्रैक्टिस करनी है अच्छे से,
जी सर,
ठीक है।
ओके सर।
So now I am opening the session for questions and answer. Please go ahead and ask your questions.
आप लोग अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं और डायरेक्टली पूछ सकते हैं, और वॉट एवर लैंग्वेज यू आर कंफर्टेबल, इंग्लिश, हिंदी, उर्दू, मराठी, जो भी है। आई डोंट नो मराठी मारूफ भाई बोल पाएंगे,
नहीं, मराठी
बट
नहीं बोल पाऊंगा मैं, बट हाँ, पर मराठी आई थिंक हिंदी भी समझ ही लेते हैं, सो उनको प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी, हिंदी उर्दू दे कैन अंडरस्टैंड।
यस यस।
Hello.
हाँ, या प्लीज गो अहेड।
Yeah, my name is Satish. So presently I'm working for an working with support into support. So my question is, what are the topics do I need to learn for Python, like to get into this?
सो पाइथन का भी देखो, बेसिकली इट विल रिमेन सेम एक्चुअली।
Okay,
ओके, दैट फर्स्ट यू नीड टू गो विद ओप्स कॉन्सेप्ट्स,
okay,
देन collection is basically replaced there with like tuples and all a list, okay.
okay,
Those kind of libraries. So you need to learn tuples, etc.
okay,
And then there is also you need to learn the exception, how to handle the exception, and
okay,
how you can work with files. Working with files is very important because in your automation testing, whatever the data you use,
okay,
okay, for example, I gave you the very simple example, Expedia. So this will be your test data, whatever you will enter here. This is your test data. Whatever dates you will be selecting, this is your test data. So this test data you will keep somewhere. You might keep that in notepad file, CSV file, okay, or maybe in a Excel file. So that is why you need to be good at the file reading and writing concepts. Okay, so that makes sure that you learn those things as well.
okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
सर हेलो
Yeah, go ahead.
सर, सर वो जैसे जो आपने बताया सब ये ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग का, ये जावा में क्या क्या पढ़ना है ये सब, सर इसके लिए जैसे मुझे कुछ सजेस्ट कर सकते हैं, जैसे कोई कोचिंग या कुछ, कोई मतलब कोई भी पर्सनली कोई मतलब इसको मतलब पढ़ा सके, या फिर कोई कोचिंग
आप
बता।
अभी किस सिटी में हो?
एक्चुअली मैं सर मैं मैकेनिकल में जॉब कर रहा
नहीं,
था।
सिटी कौन
तो
सी है
आप,
आपकी सिटी?
सिटी गोरखपुर है सर, मेरा
अच्छा,
नाम अब्दुल
गोरखपुर में हो
करीम।
ना आप? ठीक ठीक। तो
यस
आप
सर,
देखो, फर्स्ट तो मैं कहूंगा कि मतलब कोचिंग पे अगर आप पैसा मतलब ना लगाओ तो ज्यादा बेटर है
जी सर, तो जैसे कैसे
अभी, क्योंकि
पढ़ेंगे?
क्योंकि आप है ना ऑनलाइन ऑलरेडी देर आर बहुत सारे रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल हैं। तो
अच्छा
एक
अच्छा,
वेबसाइट जो जावा के लिए बहुत अच्छी है वो है java.t-point.com।
यस सर, जावा टी पॉइंट।
हाँ, मैं चैट पे इसका नाम पिन कर देता हूँ सबके लिए,
यस सर, यस सर।
ठीक है।
एक्चुअली सर क्या होता है ना सर, एक्सक्यूज मी सर, जैसे
हाँ
बहुत सारी साइट से मैं पढ़ता हूँ, तो जैसे मोस्टली वो इंग्लिश में टोटल पढ़ाते हैं,
क्या
तो थोड़ा मुझे पढ़ने में दिक्कत होती है सर।
नहीं, तो
अगर
चैट में
जैसे
किसी
तो
ने लिखा है कि कोड विद हैरी एक चैनल है यूट्यूब पे
ये
जो
चालू
जी,
है तो ये
हिंदी में पढ़ाता है, ठीक है।
अच्छा
तो
अच्छा,
इस तरह के बहुत से चैनल हैं यूट्यूब पे हिंदी वाले भी। तो आपको कुछ नहीं करना है, आपको सिर्फ जावा इन हिंदी लिखना है, ऊप्स जावा ऊप्स कॉन्सेप्ट्स इन हिंदी ऐसे करके आपको करना है, आपको चैनल भी आ जाएंगे। बट मैं आपको सजेस्ट करूंगा कि अगर आप आईटी में आ रहे हो तो आप इंग्लिश पे भी अपना काम करो, क्योंकि इंग्लिश मतलब बहुत जरूरी है, यहाँ पे मैंडेटरी है। एटलीस्ट कम्युनिकेशन लेवल की तो होनी चाहिए। आपको बहुत ज्यादा मास्टर नहीं होना है कि आप बहुत ज्यादा हैवी वर्ड्स थ्रो करो लोगों पे, बहुत ज्यादा फ्लुएंट बोलो, बट एटलीस्ट आप कम्युनिकेट कर सको लोगों से। क्योंकि इसमें क्या होता है, इसमें मोस्टली जो टीम्स होती हैं वो बहुत डाइवर्सिफाइड होती हैं और क्रॉस ज्योग्राफी टीम होती हैं। यूएस के भी बंदे आपकी टीम में मिल सकते हैं, यूके के बंदे भी। अभी आप म्यूट कर लो, जब तक आप नहीं बोल रहे म्यूट कर लो। इसमें बहुत क्रॉस ज्योग्राफी टीम होती है और डाइवर्सिफाइड टीम होती है। तो आपको हो सकता है आपकी टीम में कोई बंदा केरला का भी हो जिसको या तो सिर्फ मलयालम आती है या सिर्फ इंग्लिश आती है। यूएस के बंदे भी हो सकते हैं आपकी टीम में, यूके के बंदे हो सकते हैं आपकी टीम में, ठीक है। आपकी टीम में ये इटली के बंदे हो सकते हैं जो सिर्फ इटली जानते हैं और इंग्लिश जानते हैं, उसके अलावा वो जानते ही नहीं है कुछ। तो इस तरह की टीम्स होती हैं इसमें। तो आप बहुत ज्यादा जो छोटी कंपनीज होती है ना उसमें तो आप सरवाइव कर सकोगे, बट वहां भी एक टाइम के बाद आपकी यूटिलिटी खत्म हो जाएगी, क्योंकि बहुत छोटी जो कंपनी होती है वो ग्रो ही नहीं करती हैं। उनमें सिर्फ 2-3 सालों के एक्सपीरियंस के बंदों की जरूरत होती है, वो बंदे फिर वहीं पे स्ट्रक होकर रह जाते हैं। अगर आपको इसमें वाकई में करियर बनाना है, आप इसको में आगे बढ़ना चाहते हो कि नहीं यार मैं अब इसी में ही करियर अपना कंटिन्यू करूंगा, तो इंग्लिश पे काम करना इसमें बहुत जरूरी है। बहुत ज्यादा आप एक्सपर्ट मत बनो, बट इतना आपको बनना है कि अगर कोई इंसान कुछ बोल रहा है वो आपको समझ में आना चाहिए, और आप किसी को कुछ समझाना चाह रहे हो तो वो आप बोल सको उसको। ठीक है, इस लेवल के आपके होनी चाहिए। सो ये मैं
ओके
आपको सजेस्ट करूंगा।
ओके सर, नो प्रॉब्लम।
या एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस?
Yeah, hi.
या प्लीज गो अहेड।
Yeah, what about the manual testing, sir? Uh, Just now, have you discussed about the automation testing and what about the manual testing? Is it necessary to
या
learn the manual testing?
Yeah, definitely. If you want to have good career, then you should have all the basic skill guard. As I said, you should have good basics of your programming language. Similarly, you should have good basics of your automation testing as well. Because whenever you will join any team, and if you talk and they assign you some work for automation testing, they will use these kind of terminology. They will say bugs, they will say test cases. Okay, they will say test execution documents, test plan, these kind of terminology they will throw at you, and you need to understand them. Okay. So in manual testing,
Okay.
if you have joined late, in starting, I have specified some topics. So I will repeat them again. You guys can note them down. First, you need to learn software development life cycle.
Okay, SBL.
Then software testing life cycle, bug life cycle or defect life cycle. Then
Okay.
how to write test cases. In that, you need to
Okay.
understand all the components of test cases, like what is the test ID, what is the precondition, what is the test data, what is the test case steps, what is expected result, what is actual result. Okay, so these are the components of a good test case. You need to understand them. Then test plan, test strategy. Okay,
Okay.
and and after that you can also learn one of the topic, that is how to write a bug report. So let's say you find a bug and you want to report that bug to your developer or your client. Okay. So how you will
Okay.
send the report about that bug? What all components should this bug report include? So that you need to learn. Okay.
Okay.
So these 5 to 6 topics, this is nothing actually, just you need to read and read. Go to
Okay.
guru99.com or any other website, read these articles. Similarly, you can go to some YouTube channels also and just read them. It's quite easy, so you will understand by reading or just by learning from the YouTube channel. You will get all the crux of it. Okay.
Oh, okay. Sir, and one more thing, how to raise a bug or defect into a Jira tool?
So Jira is a tool, and there if you have to log a bug, so for that I cannot tell you in theory, because you need to log in
Okay.
Jira. And in Jira, there is one create button. You need to create on that button. Then you need to select whether you want to create a story, or you want to create a bug, or you are going to create some blue cards or epics. These are all the terminology of Jira. Jira in itself is a tool, so you need to learn it. So you will select a bug, and then you will give a description what this bug is all about. You will give some kind of heading, like one line summary. You need to give your steps to reproduce what need to be done to get this defect in the application. So that those steps are called steps to reproduce. Then you need to mention your expected versus the actual result. And there is a screenshot, there is attachment field in Jira. So you can
Okay.
attach your screenshot or your video, okay, or
Okay.
your log file, so that you can
Okay.
attach there.
Okay. And one more thing, Jira is the only one source, or rather than that, is there any other like Jira?
No, there are many
or is
tools.
there
Like
any other tool also
there are
available?
so many tools. There is
Okay.
one tool available, Kanban, and then there is Jira. There
Hmm.
is a tools called Mantis. There
Hmm.
is tools Bugzilla, Bug Tracker. So there
Okay.
are so many tools available. Jira is a pet tool.
But
So generally,
okay,
big organizations use
okay.
this tool. Jira and HP
Mostly.
ALM. Yeah, these tools are basically used by big organization.
Hmm.
A small
Okay.
organization or small teams or the startups generally use the open source tools like Mantis or Bug Tracker.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
सर हेलो
Yeah. Sure.
सर, वो जैसे ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग के लिए जैसे एक टॉपिक जावा था, जावा में जितनी चीजें थी वो आपने बताया था।
हाँ
और सर
हाँ
मैं चाहता हूँ सर, वो जैसे ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग में जाने के लिए वन बाय वन जो जो चीजें हैं, टॉपिक है, सब बता दीजिए ताकि उसको मैं
हाँ। तो
नोट कर।
एक आप सेलेनियम लिख लो। सेलेनियम आपको पूरा अच्छे से करना है। उसमें कोई बेसिक्स और कुछ नहीं है, वो आपको पूरा का पूरा ही करना है। ठीक है।
सिलेनियम।
उसमें कोई टॉपिक्स वॉपिक्स नहीं, सारा आपको करना है। एक
जी
आपका टेस्ट एनजी है लाइब्रेरी, वो आपको करनी है।
जी।
फिर
या
आपको
सर क्या आपने क्या बोला सर, सिलेनियम और सर
टेस्ट एनजी, टी
टेस्ट
TEST टेस्ट।
एन जी।
और हाँ, NG, N फॉर न्यू दिल्ली और G फॉर गुड़गांव, NG।
ओके सर, इसको भी फुल पढ़ना है
हाँ,
टोटली।
इसको भी फुल पढ़ना है। इसमें कोई टॉपिक्स वगैरह का कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है।
ओके
फिर
सर। ओके।
मेवन आता है, मेवन भी आपको करना है।
MEVAN सर।
हाँ, MAVEN।
यस सर, मेवन भी फुल टॉपिक।
मेवन फुल करना है। गिट आप एज अ बिगिनर आप गिट में आप ये समझ लो कि पुश कैसे करते हैं,
यस सर।
पुल कैसे करते हैं,
यस सर।
और ब्रांच कैसे इसमें बनाते हैं, ब्रांच।
यस सर, गेट में
ठीक है।
पुल, पुश और सर ब्रांच।
हाँ, ये तीन आप कर सकते हो गिट में। और
ओके।
जेनकिंस में आप करो कि शेड्यूल कैसे कर सकते हैं कोई जॉब, हाउ टू शेड्यूल अ जॉब।
किसमें सर?
जेनकिंस।
जेन जेन जेनकिंस।
हाँ,
ओके सर, जेनकिंस में सर क्या क्या है?
उसमें से आप ये करो, हाउ टू शेड्यूल अ जॉब, जॉब
ओके
को
सर,
शेड्यूल कैसे करते हैं।
हाउ टू शेड्यूल ए जॉब।
हाँ, ये आप कर लो इनमें, तो
ओ
आपको अच्छा नॉलेज आ जाएगा।
और सर जैसे सर वो मैकेनिकल से गवर्नमेंट पॉलिटेक्निक कानपुर से मैंने डिप्लोमा किया है सर,
हाँ
डिप्लोमा।
हाँ
तो
हाँ।
सर मुझे इसमें आने में कोई दिक्कत तो नहीं होगी, क्योंकि मेरे पास प्लेन डिप्लोमा है सर सिर्फ।
नहीं, देखो उसमें यार दिक्कत नहीं होती है, बट है ना, थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम तो आती है। मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि सारी कंपनीज आपके लिए आ, मतलब दे विल वेलकम यू विद ओपन आर्म्स, ऐसा नहीं होगा।
यस सर।
बहुत सी कंपनी आपको रिजेक्ट भी करेंगे कि नहीं, हम डिप्लोमा नहीं चाहिए, हमें तो ग्रेजुएट ही चाहिए। और बहुत सी
अच्छा।
कंपनीज ले भी लेती हैं।
ओके सर।
तो बहुत ज्यादा मैं मतलब मैं बहुत ऐसा लोगों को बहुत वो नहीं बोल देता हूँ मैं कि नहीं यार बहुत इजी रहेगा।
यस
जो
सर।
रियलिस्टिक सिचुएशन है वो यही है कि अगर आप किसी फील्ड से एक अच्छा खासा एक्सपीरियंस लेके आते हो, 6 साल
यस।
का, 4 साल का,
यस सर।
3 साल का भी, तो प्रॉब्लम होती है, बहुत इजी आपकी जर्नी नहीं होती है। अगर
ओके
आप
सर।
1 या 2 साल में ही आ जाते हो, देन इट्स वेरी स्मूथ जर्नी। अदरवाइज आपको थोड़ा बहुत प्रॉब्लम फेस करना पड़ता है। मैनी कंपनीज से कि अब आपको 3 साल का एक्सपीरियंस हो गया है, वी विल नॉट कंसीडर यू एज अ फ्रेशर। हमारे लिए फ्रेशर तो सिर्फ 2021 बैच या 2022 बैच वाले या 2023 बैच वाले ही हैं हमारे लिए फ्रेशर।
यस
आप
सर।
तो
यस।
2018 के पास आउट हो, 2017 के पास आउट, या 2019 के पास आउट हो।
यस
सो
सर, मैं एक्चुअली
हाँ
2012 का पास आउट हूँ
हाँ,
सर।
तो आपका तो बहुत ज्यादा ही हो गया। तो मैं मतलब आपके लिए तो बहुत ही ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन होगी। स्टिल इफ यू वांट टू गिव इट अ ट्राई, यू कैन डू इट। अदरवाइज आप जिस फील्ड में हो अभी, बेटर यही है कि आप किसी तरह से उसमें आगे बढ़ो। ठीक है।
नहीं सर, उस फील्ड से मुझे निकलना है।
हाँ, तो ठीक है, आप ट्राई दे सकते हो। जब
यस सर।
आपको अगर उसमें करने नहीं है, आप यहाँ पे ट्राई दे
यस।
सकते हो। अगर हो गया तो ठीक, वरना
यस।
लेट्स सी व्हाट हैपेंस। ओके।
हेलो सर।
ओके सर। ओके।
या प्लीज गो अहेड।
या सर, मेरा पास आउट 2018 है।
हम्म।
एक्चुअली मैं बैचलर ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग हूँ।
हाँ हाँ, किस फील्ड में?
सिविल से किया हूँ, सिविल से।
ओके।
वही सर, मेरे को मूव ऑन होना है पे आईटी में। तो कौन सा बेटर रहेगा सर? ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग बेटर रहेगा?
हाँ, बेटर तो ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग ही रहेगा आपको, क्योंकि वो थोड़ा इजी टू लर्न रहेगा एक्चुअली आपके लिए।
जी।
ठीक है। तो
हम्म,
वो आप मेरे ख्याल से आप उस पर फोकस करो, जो मैंने 6 मंथ का आपको बोला है कि 6 मंथ का प्लान बना के टारगेट करो। तो
हम्म।
वो ज्यादा आपके लिए बेटर रहेगा। उसमें आप ट्राई ट्राई करो, अच्छा रहेगा आपके लिए।
प्रेशर पे जॉब है क्या सर उसके, ऑटोमेशन पे?
तो फ्रेशर में तो यार आईटी में सबके रहते हैं, डेवलपमेंट के लिए भी रहते हैं, ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग के भी रहते हैं, डेवऑप्स के लिए भी रहते हैं। सब फ्रेशर से शुरू करते हैं, तो फ्रेशर की जॉब तो रहती है।
हाँ।
ठीक है।
तो पीछे बैकग्राउंड वगैरह पासवर्ड वो मैंडेटरी रहता है क्या सर पीछे का
हाँ
जो?
वो थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम होता है, बहुत सी कंपनीज बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट होती हैं कि नहीं हमें 2019 ही चाहिए, हमें 2020 ही चाहिए, वो थोड़ा सा रहता है क्राइटेरिया बहुत सी कंपनीज का। बट बहुत सी कंपनीज का नहीं भी रहता है, सो यू कैन गिव इट अ ट्राई।
हम्म,
क्योंकि हर कंपनीज का नहीं रहता, बहुत सी छोटी छोटी कंपनीज भी हैं, वहां से आप उनमें एंट्री ले लो, आप 2 या 3 साल वहां पे आप अच्छे से सीखो, देन यू कैन गो टू सम बिग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। सो वो एक प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, आपको एंट्री तो मिल जाती है अगर आप अच्छे हो अपने स्किल में, तो आपको मिल जाती है एंट्री। बट अगेन इट इट वोंट बी वेरी इजी।
हम्म,
क्योंकि अब आपको क्या रहेगा ना कि जैसे अगर आप एज आईटी या कंप्यूटर साइंस या इवन एज अ सिविल इंजीनियर फ्रेशर आप आओ, अगर
हम्म,
2023 का कोई या 2022 का कोई सिविल इंजीनियरिंग का भी फ्रेशर है ना,
हम्म,
उसके लिए ऑल दी कंपनीज आर वेलकमिंग विद ओपन आर्म्स। इन्फोसिस भी
हम्म,
कह रही है कि आ जाओ मेरे कैंपस प्लेसमेंट में बैठ जाओ, मेरे ऑफ कैंपस प्लेसमेंट में आ जाओ। एचसीएल भी बोल रही है, टीसीएस भी बोल रही है, सब उनको बोल रहे हैं कि आ जाओ कर लो मेरे यहाँ पे जॉब कर लो। मतलब अगर अगर ये कैंपस इंटरव्यू क्लियर कर लो, मेरे यहाँ पे जॉब कर लो। आपके
हम्म,
लिए थोड़ा सा जो है ना लिमिटेशन हो जाती है, हर कंपनी आपको नहीं बुला रही है, कुछ कुछ
हम्म,
कंपनीज ही आपको बुला रही है। आप वहां पे इंटरव्यू क्रैक करके एंट्री ले लो, 2-3 साल आप अच्छे से काम करो, देन ऑब्वियसली यू based on your experience you can go to any other big organization.
हम्म। कितने मंथ का कोर्स है ये?
नहीं कोर्स नहीं है, वो आपके ऊपर है। आप मैंने 6 मंथ का बताया, अगर आप डेली 1 या 2 घंटे लगा रहे हो खुद से सेल्फ स्टडी से। अगर आप किसी कोचिंग में जाते हो तो उनका जितने भी महीने का कोर्स है दे विल टेक दैट मच अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम। और बाकी अगर आप खुद से डेली 1 घंटे की जगह आप 5 घंटे लगा रहे हो, तो आप 6 महीने को 3 महीना भी कर सकते हो।
राइट राइट। ये आपका इंस्टीट्यूट कहाँ पे है सर?
नहीं मेरा इंस्टीट्यूट नहीं है, मैं आई एम हियर ओनली फॉर गाइडेंस पर्पस।
अच्छा अच्छा। जी
सर हेलो सर।
या
सर वो उसमें और भी कुछ बचा हुआ है, जैसे आपने जो बताया है ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग में, ये जावा का सारी चीजें आपने बता दिया, और ये जो सिलेनियम वगैरह बताया था, और
हाँ
भी
हाँ।
कुछ ठीक है सर?
नहीं अब नहीं है, बस मैंने बता दिया, 6 मंथ का प्लान आप कर लो, बढ़िया रहेगा उसमें।
इतने सारे टॉपिक पढ़ सकता हूँ सर
हाँ
अगर
बिल्कुल।
इंटरव्यू के लिए?
बिल्कुल।
ठीक है ठीक है। और सर एक बात बताइए सर, जैसे मैं ये करने के बाद अगर जो अपना 5-6 साल का एक्सपीरियंस दिखा सकता हूँ, 4-5 साल का इसमें, तो मतलब डिप्लोमा मैटर करेगा ज्यादा?
यार आप अपना एक्सपीरियंस कैसे दिखाओगे, आपका तो एक्सपीरियंस अलग फील्ड का है ना, तो उसकी यहाँ पे क्या वैल्यू है एक्सपीरियंस की।
जी जी। नहीं सर, जैसे एक्सपीरियंस अगर बना के लगाते हैं उतना नॉलेज गेन करने के बाद।
आप 5-6 साल का अगर जस्टिफाई कर सको कि हाँ मुझे 5-6 साल का एक्सपीरियंस है
यस सर।
ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग
यस
में,
सर।
तो आप बिल्कुल
यस।
ट्राई करके देख लो।
ओके सर। ओके सर, तो मतलब ठीक है सर। ओके सर, थैंक यू। सर आपसे कांटेक्ट करने का सर कोई पर्सनली आपका नंबर, या जैसे किसी थ्रू आपके से कांटेक्ट कर सके, कभी कोई प्रॉब्लम हो, कोई इशू हो तो? हेलो। हेलो।
या
सर वो जैसे आपसे फिर ये इस वीडियो के बाद फिर कभी सर कांटेक्ट करने का
वो
कोई
आप सीजीसी से कांटेक्ट करके उनसे मेरी आप मोबाइल नंबर ले लीजिएगा। सो
ओके।
दे विल गिव यू द मोबाइल नंबर एंड यू कैन कांटेक्ट।
ओके सर। ओके, थैंक यू सो मच।
हेलो।
या गो अहेड।
अगर जैसे 3-4 साल का एक्सपीरियंस है तो उसके बाद ये बड़ी कंपनी में जाने का क्या प्रोसीजर है?
कुछ नहीं, दे विल कॉल यू फॉर इंटरव्यू, यू नीड टू क्रैक द इंटरव्यू, सिंपल।
अच्छा, नौकरी पे ही अप्लाई करना और कहीं?
हाँ naukri.com, naukri.com, monster.com, these are the sites, or even you can leverage the LinkedIn as well. So you will
अच्छा,
get the call from them, you need to apply for interview, you need to crack the interview.
ओके। ये जो आपने स्लाइड दे रखी है ना, मैंने लेट ज्वाइन किया है तो कुछ डाउनलोड है?
हाँ नहीं मैं शेयर कर दूंगा, तो CGC will share it with the participants.
ओके ओके।
Do we have any other question? Please ask.
think we are done with the question and answer.
हेलो
Yeah, please go ahead.
सर, जो जितनी चीजें आपने बताई ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग की, अगर सर मुझे मतलब बाई नेट या बाई यूट्यूब के थ्रू अगर पढ़ने में कुछ इशू होगा या मैं मतलब उतना क्लियर नहीं रहूंगा, तो सर मतलब आप मुझे फिर सजेस्ट कर सकते हैं ना उसको कैसे, जैसे किसी इंस्टीट्यूट में या किसी और से पढ़ा जाए?
यार इंस्टीट्यूट का मुझे आइडिया नहीं है, आपको नेट से ही करना पड़ेगा एक्चुअली। इंस्टीट्यूट के लिए आप है ना सीजीसी से कांटेक्ट कर लेना, तो वो
अच्छा
आपको हैदराबाद का कोई इंस्टीट्यूट आपको बता देंगे। आप ऑनलाइन पढ़ाई कर लेना, अगर गोरखपुर से आप हैदराबाद नहीं जा सको
मैं जा
तो
सकता
आप
हूँ सर।
ऑनलाइन कर लेना, अदरवाइज आप हैदराबाद आके वहां पे कर लेना। मुझे एक्चुअली इंस्टीट्यूट का आइडिया नहीं है।
ओके ओके, सीजीसी सर मैं कांटेक्ट करके अपना जो
हाँ
है जो
बिल्कुल।
प्रॉब्लम रहेगी वो बात कर लूंगा। ठीक है सर, ओके, थैंक यू सर।
Hello. Is there any tool or framework which has a complete end-to-end integration? Selenium with TestNG, Maven, and Jenkins.
No, they are different tools and you need to make this integration with them.
Okay. So compared to this Cypress and Selenium, which would you suggest to be easy to learn? And
generally I suggest people to start with Selenium because Selenium is one of the oldest tool. So if you stuck to any problem, there are many resources available on internet. There are many solutions available on internet. So that will help you in your learning journey. Okay. But let's say if you start with Cypress or Playwright, they are relatively new tools. Okay. Relatively new tools. So if you get stuck to some problem, or if you are not able to solve some challenge, if you are not able to perform some action, and if you try to search on internet, so you feel problem actually, because solutions might not be available on the internet. So that is a challenge that you face while learning the other tools. So once you learn Selenium, you become good at Selenium, then definitely you can easily learn the other tools as well.
and one last question, like considering next 5 years, what would be the future automation tool going forward? Because there are so many tools coming up in the market.
So see, nobody can predict the future. Every month new tools comes in the market. Every year there are so many tools come in the market. But if you are good at any one tool, then grabbing and learning the second tool will not be a problem for you. This is how people are surviving in the market. Otherwise, if we see from the 1980s, first there was COBOL and people used to work in that language called Fortran. Then Java came, people started working in Java. Then now Selenium, now Python is there. So same Java folks have moved to Python as well. So this is how people survive in the industry. If you're good at one tool, if you're good at programming, if you are good at logics, then you can easily move to any other tool, any other programming language. That's not a very big challenge.
Thank you.
And sir, one more thing, what about the Cucumber and CI/CD pipeline?
So for CI/CD pipeline, I have suggested you Jenkins. You can learn Jenkins. So that will help you creating the CI/CD pipeline. And Cucumber is basically a behavior-driven development tool. So at the beginning stage, that is not required to learn. But if you become the master in automation testing and you want to implement your automation testing in BDD way, you can learn Cucumber and you can utilize that in your framework.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Hello?
Yeah.
Sir, how many months it will take to learn Selenium with Java?
I'm suggesting a 6-month plan if you just spend 1 or 2 hours daily on your own. But definitely if you spend a good amount of time every day, like 4 to 5 hours on your own, then this should take only like 2 to 3 months.
Okay, I am already working in a BPO sector.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't have weekends. I mean, only one day is leave for me.
No, I'm not talking about weekend. I'm talking spending 1 hour every day.
Okay.
Yeah, so it will take 6 months.
The resources where should I see?
So YouTube is the best resource. You can just go to YouTube and you search, then you will get whatever the topic you want. And if you want to spend some money, you can also take courses from Udemy as well.
Okay.
Because Udemy courses are generally cheaper, like 400, $500. So you can just take those courses. So that's also better option. But YouTube is also a good resource. Like YouTube has everything which you can find on the internet.
I already know JavaScript basics. Can I move? I mean, Selenium with JavaScript is good, or Selenium with Java is good?
If you know JavaScript, then I would suggest go with JavaScript.
I mean, completely I don't know, but basics I do know.
Yeah, so still you can go with JavaScript. If you have started JavaScript, you know something JavaScript, then continue in that way.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, I have one doubt. What about the certification, sir? In manual testing, ISTQB certification is there, and in automation side, sir?
In automation side, there is no as such certification available, but yes, you can go to ISTQB side, and there you can find all the information related to manual testing certification and automation testing certification.
Okay. Which certifications is better to do, sir?
I have no idea about certification, but yes, you can go to ISTQB and there you can find that where you are standing and what certification you should take.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. How we can stop sharing? I'm not getting the option.
और किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन है तो आप पूछ सकते हैं, अदरवाइज हम लोग रैप अप कर देते हैं.
Okay, here this is pause share. Yeah. Okay, I think we are good to go.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we are good. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Very good. Very useful session.
Yeah, thanks
Okay,
everyone
thank
for
you so
joining.
much, sir,
Yeah,
for
thanks
your
everyone
kindly
joining.
useful
Yeah.
information.
Thanks a lot.
thanks a lot, sir.